bro, when I see stuff like this, I'm like, I don't want to have children anymore. And if I do by accident or deliberately, I am not letting them have a telephone, a landline, no electronic equipment in the home. Roblox is CNDing this creator for exposing the platform. Wait, what? Bro, this is crazy. This is so much. What the hell? I got groomed on Roblox to catch a Robloxian finding Roblox predators. I caught Roblox's most dangerous predator. What the hell? Dude, what the hell is going on Roblox, bro? Dude, predators are so insane. I mean, look, obviously they are insane. They're predators. They're child predators, right? But like, they just use any and every outlet they can. Brother, what do you mean you're on Roblox? What do you mean you're in Roblox lobbies? That is insane. I guess that's where the kids are. Is that what it is? I don't know. I've never played Roblox. To this day, I have never downloaded Roblox and never played Roblox. Everybody always is yelling at me to play Roblox. I don't even know where you download it and where you play it because I am 34 years old. I mean, eventually I probably will at some point because like I said, I was going to play Dress to Impress, for example, but I don't understand it. Like my old ass doesn't even understand what Roblox is because it looks like busted Minecraft, but also at the same time, there's like every time I see something that people say is Roblox is like, there's so many different versions of it. So from the outside, I've always like tried to comprehend what it is, but it like doesn't make any sense to me because there's like shooting games in it. There are, you know, Dress to Impress is like in Roblox, right? Isn't that like they've made all of these like different games? So I don't even, in my mind, I don't even understand what the game is actually because I've seen so many different versions of it. I think it's like a Gen Alpha Gmod. Unfortunately, evangelical anti-porn organizations, Christian anti-porn organizations have been pointing out grooming for years. I mean, just because it's like an evangelical anti-Christian, evangelical Christian organization that's pointing it out doesn't mean it's not something that should immediately be put an end to.
Roblox is
like, what the are we talking about? That's what do you mean? That's fine. I mean, they use stuff like that to obviously get a foothold and gain influence in these spaces and just open the door to like further censorship. But this is one of those things where it's like, I think, you know, the company should take initiative, except it feels like the company took initiative, but in the opposite direction where instead of taking the initiative and like banning the files or trying to create a safer universe for the children that are primarily playing Roblox, they turned around and banned the people that were calling out the predators. Like, I don't know what the hell that was about. But then again, I don't know. I don't really fully understand what it is. They banned a Vigilante. Predators buy sneakers too. Well, I mean, what do I always say? There's a permission structure. There is a permission structure. And the more that permission structure expands, the more these kinds of things become normalized, right? Whether it be predatory behavior, whether it be literally people advocating for pedophilia, which sounds insane. When you say it out loud, you're like, what? What do you mean people are advocating for pedophilia? There are people who are doing that, right? So like, the more people don't push back against this, the less there is any sort of social stigma surrounding these sorts of things that are utterly criminal and should be immediately cast aside. The more people feel comfortable coming out and entertaining this notion. All right, let's see this. Roblox predator problems getting worse.
A platform that needs no introduction, yet every time I talk about it, I feel compelled to remind people that this is like one of the most profitable things on the planet. This game has become more popular than oxygen, but I'm sure all of you already know that. There's not a soul on this planet that hasn't at least heard the name Roblox. You could live underground just feeding off dirt, and somehow I'm sure the name Roblox made it down to the subterranean culture. Like, it is actually that big. But for some parents that stay in the know about the happenings on the online space, Roblox is a name that might send some shivers down your spine, because there is a big problem in the community that has existed for a while, one that the Roblox headquarters plugs its ears to and even actively tries to bury or dissuade people from trying to solve the problem themselves. That problem being predators. There have been innumerable cases of Roblox predators preying on children through the platform. It's led to so many national headlines about this issue, and it's gotten so bad that there are YouTubers and like vigilante groups on the game that have taken matters into their own hands to try and catch and get these predators arrested so they can make the platform safer for children. Roblox themselves don't do enough to keep the platform safe, so the community has taken it upon themselves to do it themselves. Like, Roblox always claims that they're working on it, but they're really not. They're doing the equivalent of going to the gym and hitting 2 sets of dilly-dally and calling it a day. They don't actually do much for this.
Has sent a cease and desist letter to me, a 22-year-old, versus a multi-billion-dollar company, threats of litigation because I catch predators on their platform. Within the last
You got to investigate and use your voice changer to do a speedrun to see how long it takes for grooming to happen. That sounds insane. I don't feel comfortable presenting myself as a teenager just to do hunting operations. That's insane.
year, me and my team have gotten 6 predators arrested within the Roblox community. Almost all of them have admitted to doing this before to other Roblox users.
This is a YouTuber named Schlep who has been working to get predators arrested that are preying on children through the Roblox platform. And Roblox has now permanently banned him, like IP ban, banished all of his accounts to the Shadow Realm, and he is facing potential legal problems for this. It's pretty odd considering Roblox willingly turns a blind eye to the pedophile plague on their platform, but will laser focus, dial in, and call in like the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs in order to try and wipe out people like Schlep that try and stop the predators themselves. So instead of stopping the predators, Roblox stops the people stopping the predators. It's really backwards, if you ask me. That shit doesn't make any sense. Like, just let that marinate in your head for a moment. Like, I understand vigilante groups can sometimes be a problem, but when you as the company are doing...
That's how they matched the Israeli operative, by the way. Caught the Israeli operative, by the way. Cops went undercover as teens. I understand, but I'll leave that to law enforcement, okay? And like... even they are probably not doing the best job when engaging in the act of hunting, but I'm not gonna do it. Okay, like there's a difference between people who are like actively farming CSAM, for example, in their Discord servers, like those kick streamers that one content creator like did a massive expose on, right? Like those guys are doing it. There's no entrapment. They're just doing it publicly. Okay. There's no like presenting yourself as a child or anything like that. But I think there's a balance to it where if some people just like go way above and beyond. And then that's the reason why you see a lot of these like hunter style content creators. I'm not saying Schlep is like that. I don't know his content at all, but like a lot of these guys then turn into like weirdos or are weirdos and they're just doing this because they're weirdos. Some of them actually get outed as predators themselves as well. It happens far too much. So I just kind of stay away from that world completely.
Nothing to actually stop it yourself. What other options are there? The community has to take matters into their own hands and start policing themselves to try and keep the platform safe, since Roblox is really dropping the ball on it. Like, for some reason, they don't even get out of bed when they hear about a pedophile on the platform, but if they hear about a YouTuber doing something to stop that, they fire up like Dracula. They sit up like The Undertaker and they get to business. They go to work. This is not the first time this has happened. They have come after people like Schlep before, the people that are actively trying to make the platform safer, and it just doesn't make any sense. The CEO seems to be too busy trying to pitch Roblox as a dating platform in addition to being for gaming. I already made a video talking about the lunacy of this idea, but it is like chumming the waters for sharks. The sharks in this case being pedophiles. Anyone who knows anything about Roblox and has a functioning frontal lobe should tell you what...
Bro, is the CEO a... what's going on? What the hell? The CEO was like, oh, this seems like a fantastic opportunity to get some teenagers to meet some eligible bachelors. That's crazy. That's insane. This is just, let's dump some meat in the water where the sharks are where the sharks are circling. What the hell? This is the type of stuff that like parents in my generation were worried about, and therefore would like, my parents did not want me playing any online video games or even have like MSN Messenger. You guys had AIM here in America. We had MSN Messenger in Turkey, and they didn't let me have it. Like, they didn't let me use it because they saw like one news article about like a predator or file doing predator stuff to children or whatever, right? And that was a little ridiculous because like MSN Messenger was not even you could not really communicate with strangers, you know? It's just a way to communicate with your friends as long as you had their like usernames and stuff like that, right? I'm sure it probably happened, but you know, you could, the proper way to do that would probably be to educate your child on best practices, like understand how this works, understand how this like communication platform works, and educate your child in the same way that you would about like going out and not talking to strangers, stranger danger in public, right? Because nowadays the internet is basically the only public space that we exist in. So of course, my parents were too old, didn't understand it, and were instead like, you're not allowed to use it. And obviously I still used it. I had to learn a bunch of different like privacy apps that would, if I hit like a couple different keystrokes, would automatically close down Dota or MSN Messenger. You know, the ones that people use in like their workplace when they're watching me, Hasan Piker, while they're on the company time. You know, I used all of that. So I found a workaround around it. But the point is, this is a real fear. This is an understandable fear. Especially if you're like in a large server and it's basically the equivalent of walking around as a child in public. And there's dudes with white vans holding out candy. But instead, because it's online, you just kind of feel like you're safe, but you're not safe at all. You know what I mean? There are nearly 82 million active users on Roblox and more than 6.4 million experiences within the system. More than 40% of their user base is under the age of 12. Because there's no age minimum requirement to verify age or parental permission once you sign up, users can easily say you are younger or older than their actual age, allowing child predators to pose as children and for children to bypass any age requirement. I just don't also know what the proper mechanism of protection is, because like I know that a lot of these people will use as an opportunity to put like the identification, like the ID verification stuff. And I feel like that's also incredibly worrisome because it increases surveillance. Taylor Lorenz had a big video on this as well. She's been a champion in this cause, consistently talking about how like all of the ID verification processes that they're implementing is going to inevitably lead to more problems down the line and create an environment of censorship. So I don't know what the actual solution is. I lean on the side of what Taylor is warning about as well. But here, let's.
What a recipe for disaster this is, to turn a platform that mainly targets children into also having a dating site component to it. That he wants to be 17 plus, which is a weird number to choose for that, by the way. But the CEO, Dave Bazuki, really is fixated on trying to make this a reality of turning Roblox into a dating site in addition to its gaming. But they can't even protect children from pedophiles now. Imagine when they try and implement this to it.
Hilarious. Roblox is actively claiming that I am hurting their players. Roblox is claiming that I'm engaging in simulated child endangerment conversations. What? So one of the fundamental bases of predator catching is that you cannot talk sexually to predators. Predators are supposed to be the ones talking sexually to you. If you talk sexually to predators like straight off the get-go, that's entrapment. That is literally what entrapment is. We almost always play a naive kid who doesn't know anything about this stuff, so they teach us about this stuff. If you watch these videos, you know how the chats are going, and they're not even on Roblox. Most of the chat logs are on Discord, and they're accusing me of getting people off of platform onto.
Kind of glad you're down for that stuff. This can make something interesting. Oh, what the hey, yo, dude. Wow, God. I used to make fun of my dad because like when there is any sort of like harm, simulated harm against like a child in a movie, he'll be like, shut this off. I can't watch this. Right. And I'd be like, who cares? It's a movie, Dad. Calm down. And now I feel like I'm turning into him a little bit where like when I see this kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, I can't even do it. But then again, this isn't even simulated harm. This is like real shit. So this is like a real ass active predator out there existing in the same universe as myself, you, your loved ones, and your young relatives, your minor relatives. It's just so gross.
Different social media sites.
Let's take a peek at this real quick. While Roblox acknowledges that your stated intentions may be to protect children, and while it recognizes the serious nature of online predatory behavior, your methods, including failing to immediately report suspicious activity to Roblox through proper channels, are actively interfering with Roblox's established safety protocols and critically are exposing Roblox's users to increased risk. If that isn't the fattest load of barnacles you've ever tried to swallow, I don't know what is. The big thing with everyone that is actively trying to keep the platform safer, like people like Schlepp trying to catch predators, they report them immediately. That is the number one thing they do. The problem is, and you can look this up there yourself, there are so many articles that detail how nonchalant Roblox is when it comes to these reports. The problem is Roblox doesn't act on it. So as far as I know, in all of these predator catching groups,
bro, this should be like instant IP ban, not for Schlepp, of course, but for the person, and then also instantly report them to the authorities. Like it should be auto. It should be an automatic system where it's like, okay, we look through it. Obviously, this person is actively trying to go after children on our platform. Child safety and child endangerment is the number one priority for us with an active user base of 40% that's under the age of 13. How do you prevent abuse of that? You have to hire people. What do you mean? You have to hire human beings who scour through the information and then send it over to the authorities. That's how you work with it. And I know nobody wants to do that because they go, it's too expensive. So the only way that you can do that if companies don't take this action on their own is legislation, punishments from regulatory agencies, punishments from authorities. Now, of course, we're talking about the United States of America, which means, which is a massive market, obviously, for a lot of tech initiatives. That's not going to happen here in the United States of America because our regulatory agencies have been gutted from within by the likes of Doge, and our politicians are not invested in anything unless it's to give more money to Israel or if it's to give more money to the military-industrial complex in general. So if the children, including the children of politicians, were not children on Roblox getting predated on, but instead, I don't know, the latest Boeing missile system that they're developing being predated on, only then the politicians take action. So I have a brilliant idea. We fake it like the kids are actually missile systems. Hear me out. Okay? We convince, they're old, they don't understand it. They don't understand how the world works. We convince the politicians that this is actually an Hellfire missile that's being predated on. Not a child, not an American child, because children are whack. Nobody cares about them, obviously. Duh. Children are not productive, okay? They don't even work. They don't generate value. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? They're not a lobbyist. They're not in the halls of Congress. They're not working for Raytheon. Obviously, no one cares. So how do we make the politicians care? We say the kids are actually missiles, okay? Child, also kind of missile-shaped. Child, also oftentimes in the crosshairs of a missile. Think about it. Think about it. Every child that is actively attacked and predated on by a child predator online is actually a missile that could go to Israel. They're kidnapping our missiles. They're kidnapping our missiles. We have to put a stop to it. And then, boom, tomorrow there will be a solution.
first thing they do is report it through the proper channels on Roblox, but the issue is that report just makes it directly to the shitter at Roblox HQ for them to flush it. I don't know where it goes, but I guess it just goes somewhere to collect dust at Roblox. It falls into the goddamn back rooms. So they never actually act on any of the reports. So the proper channels are useless. It's baffling. And in a lot of cases, Schlepp's about to give you an example, even when a predator is arrested, like a Roblox predator is arrested, they don't even ban that account that is associated with them a lot of times. It's craziness. To say like he's not doing this the right way because he's not reporting it through Roblox is just incorrect, and also laughable for them to claim that by not doing that, he's putting users at more risk. How does that make any sense? How is him trying to catch these predators somehow putting children in harm's way? Like, more so than Roblox doing nothing except sitting on these reports forever, maybe using them as like scribbling paper at the office, like a coloring book. Like, how is what he's doing, actively trying at least to stop predators, putting users more at risk? The next barrage of mumbo jumbo from Roblox is equally baffling, saying that he's engaging in simulated child endangerment. Well, I guess kind of, because there are predators on your platform that are talking sexually to him and his group that are pretending to be kids. And according to Schlepp, they're not initiating those inappropriate conversations. The predators are just there. The call's coming from inside the house on Roblox. He is not going out of his way to create files to catch. They are there. So the conversations do happen because the predators are there having them. And you have to imagine that in most cases, they're not having them with a vigilante group trying to catch them. They're having them with real children that are in real danger from these files that are running rampant on the platform. Now, the next thing they talk about, moving them to a new platform? What the As Schlepp mentions, a lot of the conversations do end up off the Roblox service on things like Discord. And apparently that's an issue with Roblox too, that they've taken users from Roblox and brought them to Discord. It's almost like they were upset that they lost a user there to somewhere else. Like, no, bring them back. You're not allowed to. You're trying to poach our community.
Yeah. Roblox makes peer-to-peer encrypted chatting so that files can easily communicate with children, and they don't have to go to a third-party application to continue these conversations. That's the meta. Make it easier. I mean, the dating app is literally moving in that direction. Roblox was like, "Oh, we're joining the war. We're joining the war on pedophilia on the side of the files."
We're gonna lose pedophiles if you keep catching them, and we need that to pump up our numbers. You kidding me? No. That's a big problem.
I guess that's worth a cease and desist and an IP ban of every single account that I own. That's just crazy. I can't even fathom that. They also say sharing or soliciting personally identifiable information. I have no idea.
With the police? Is that what they mean? They're like, Roblox was like, you're doxing our files by giving their information to the police? Why would you dox our big, brave files? Big, beautiful. Why would you dox our big, beautiful files? It's like you're a predator trying to hunt down files. This is messed up.
What they're referring to this, I would love to know what they're talking about. Are they referring to the fact that I give the information of the predators that we find to the police? Like, the people we're talking to are predators.
Another weird one here from the slimy suits at Roblox Corp. What do you mean personally identifiable information? It almost sounds like they care more about the privacy of the predators than the act of actually stopping them. It's like, whoa, you just shared some of our users' data without our permission. Are you kidding me?
Imagine being a special victims officer and being assigned to play Roblox all day to catch predators. I mean, I think that's cool. You get to play video games all day. And also simultaneously, you're literally doing one of the functions of law enforcement that is actually good. You know what I mean? It's like it's one of the decent functions of law enforcement that virtually no one would actively argue against.
A file on our platform? Nope. That is not permissible. We do not support that at all. Like, what the like, it'd be entirely unnecessary if you would just do your job and give that personal information to the authorities so that way the predators could get arrested, but you're not doing it. So people like Schlepp have to. Like,
most insulting thing is that they told me I'm not reporting people quick enough and I'm not reporting them through the right outlets. Tell me the right outlets. I have been trying to figure this out for like a year now. This here is Nepali Incel. This person actually made credible threats to the Las Vegas sphere in a Roblox game. And I saw this with my own two eyes. And the reason why it's a credible threat, it is because the FBI went ahead and arrested someone for making threats within that same game. I made a moderation ticket about it, and I even actually made a report to the FBI about this. Where is the cease and desist letter for him? Where's the IP ban for him? Are you gonna ban all of this dude's accounts?
Roblox uses the proper channels as like kind of this shield, but it's really a myth. It doesn't seem to actually exist because nobody knows the proper channels. They're doing all of like the reporting that they can to Roblox through everything they think is the proper channels. But Roblox, I guess, isn't very clear with what they are because they keep saying, nope, still not using the right channels. Well, what the are they? Nobody seems to know how to access the proper channels. It's like a Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg. How do you get there? Why don't you explain it then? Why don't you make it more clear? Because as of now, everyone is reporting it through what they believe is the right.
I feel like on the one hand, you're like, oh, this is just a children's game. Who cares, right? But also on the other hand, like this is a primary mode of communication for a lot of people at this point, I guess. There's a massive active user base. Most of them are little kids. So, you know, it's pretty, bro, that's why you care. No, that's my point. My point is that like if this is where the kids are and this is where they spend most of their time, then you have to treat it in the same way that you would as though they're at the fucking public parks, you know? Yeah, apparently a credible terrorist attack was being planned on Roblox. Is so crazy. The FBI allegedly busted a real-life terrorist attack that was planned in Roblox. I cannot confirm anything aloud at the moment, but things are in motion, says Crazy Pain. James Wesley Berger, who was caught by the FBI, mugshot below, has been charged with threats communicated in interstate commerce. You can read the criminal complaint below. What? Crazy Pain said it will be months. Shawwal. Based on my training experience, I know Shawwal is the 10th month of the Islamic calendar that follows Ramadan. It corresponds approximately to March 31st, 2025. The witness observed messages from Crazy Pain stating that they owned at least one firearm. The following are screenshots that were captured by the witness, though not all communications were captured. TrueAnon did an episode on the Order of Nine Angels and how they use online games to recruit, and a deal grievous wound upon the followers of the cross. He's keeping it disclosed. We will make dua for you once, you martyr. How many days until you do that, Anna? It will be months, Shawwal, April. This guy's name is James W. Berger, and he wanted to do like Islamic style terror, Islamic Caliphate, Islamic State style terror. What the what is happening, bro? When we say Al-Qaeda, I didn't mean like they were literally becoming Al-Qaeda. How the is a guy with the last name? James W. Berger sounds like something I made up. Okay, like, white boy named James W. Berger doing jihad. What? This would have been the second time a dude with the last name Berger has committed, a white dude with the last name Berger has committed an act of terror on U.S. soil, domestic terror on U.S. soil. It's like, it reminds me of the first one this year, which is Life is Burger, right? Wasn't that guy's name Life is Burger, like Mr. Hamburger? Whether I've seen right-wing militias with up-armored Land Cruisers in Oregon. Of course, they are the U.S. Taliban. Far Cry 4 for real. I mean, none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. Like, how did this guy, Carletta Carter, Special Agent, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Austin, Texas, being duly sworn, deposed, state the following. Based upon the facts set forth below, I submit there's probable cause to believe that on or about January 23rd, 2025, with the Western District of Texas and elsewhere, defendant James Wesley Berger did violate transmitting in interstate commerce and any communication threat to injure the persons of another. United States investigating Berger for making threats via the Roblox gaming platform to attack a Christian concert or event. This also sounds on or about January 23rd, the FBI received a report from an individual located in the state of Nevada of a possible domestic terrorist incident being discussed on Roblox user by Crazy Pain. Witness observed the Crazy Pain saying they're willing to kill Shia Muslims at their mosque. A guy named James W. Berger became like a ultra Salafist. How does that happen? Where are even Shia Muslims in his vicinity. This has to be fake, right? No, I mean, he was apparently saying shit like this. They brainwashed the kid, bro. I just don't know who and how. It's not about people in the Order of Nine Angels and groups worship. It's not about that. People in the Order of Nine Angles are angels and groups worship ISIS. So these guys are like radicalizing themselves into being pro-ISIS. How is that even possible? Why is it always us? Why do they hate the Shia so much? It's ISIS, dude. It's ISIS. That's what it is. It's like ISIS. No normal Muslim is invested in this kind of like, oh, we got to take out the Shias. Like, that's not real. It's like, I don't know. It's like being a, it's like being a Muslim and then like converting to Catholicism to hunt down Protestants or something, or converting to Protestant Christianity to hunt down Catholics. It doesn't make any sense. You understand? That's an insane thing. That's not something that happens. User one replied on Roblox should delete the photograph of firearms within the unknown Discord chat in case it was flagged as suspicious. The firearm should be kept hidden. Crazy Payne continued to speak on Roblox about their desire to commit martyrdom at a Christian event, that he wanted to bring humiliation to the worshippers of the cross. See, this is the other thing. This right here, the reason why I say this is idiotic is because Muslims do not actually want to kill Christians. This is what Christians in the West think Muslims want to do, okay? That's bullshit. The idea that like Muslims are we're going to go and kill the worshipers of the cross. Like, what do you mean? Muslims respect Jesus. Jesus is a prophet in the Quran. That's not, this is a dude who got one-shotted by a very specific understanding of quote unquote Islam that mostly manifests in the West. It's like guys that say, oh, I've reverted to Islam because I want to lower the age of consent and have 4 wives and you know, do harm to those who speak out against the prophet or something. Like, that's, you literally are invested in the memeified right-wing version of Islam that America has presented to you as the only form of Islam. It's like, ironically, an Orientalist framework. You are you didn't like revert because, I don't know, you want to follow you want to follow the Quran. You reverted because you want to be like a weirdo. Yeah, the Sneeko Islam, exactly. Many such cases.
Channels, the ones that are readily available and accessible to people to report through, but those, I guess, aren't the right ones. So where the f are they and how can they access them? Like, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely absurd.
Big Balls was in calm. Check it out. Wait, what?
And then he makes a mention here of how, like, this one guy who did get arrested for credible terrorist threats still has his account active on Roblox. And there are predators that have been arrested and are currently in jail that still have their accounts active on Roblox. Like, they do not act on this shit, but they will act immediately if they catch a whiff of somebody trying to take matters into their own hands to stop it themselves to make the platform safer. They're instantaneously right there at their door, ready to slap them with some legal paperwork here. It's just craziness.
This is literally how it goes. We go to roblox.com/support, submit a moderation ticket, and then fill out the prompt with all the information regarding our arrest.
Bro, when I see stuff like this, I'm like, I don't want to have children anymore. And if I do, by accident or deliberately, I am not letting them have a telephone, a landline. That's like, I'm talking Steve Jobs, late stage cancer, no electronic equipment in the home. Okay. I'm talking, you are using, if I catch you using smoke signals to communicate with the outside world, okay, we're banning fire. Do you understand? No pigeons. You know what? Only pigeons. Okay. Only pigeons. Who would have thought that the Amish were actually doing the right thing as opposed to whatever the this is? Come on, dude. This is tiny, tiny niche. My daughter don't even know this stuff exists. Granted, she's Japanese. There's pretty horrible stuff in Japan as well. I mean, yeah, this is the kind of that really banged in Japan. What are you talking about? In the 90s? And even to this day, Japan is a massive cult problem. There's an official spec for the TCP IP protocol for carrier pigeons. Oh, here we go.
and give you guys the same Google Drive that we give to the cops. And in a lot of instances, Roblox won't even ban after we reach out to them regarding felony arrests. What I typically have to do is report cases to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or go on the news to show gameplay of our decoys with the predators on Roblox. I've literally felt so lost at trying to get the attention of Roblox regarding these predators. I've created binders with all the chat logs, and I've sent it to their headquarters in San Mateo, California. This is the first time Roblox has ever directly reached me out. Instead of trying to say, hey, we want to work with you, or literally giving me a line to report these people, or simply saying, don't make these videos anymore, we're gonna ban you, Roblox just terminated every account I own and sent me this cease and desist.
I feel like it's pretty clear in this case, Schlepp has literally done everything he can to try and let Roblox be the one to get these predators off the platform, putting the ball in their court, hoping that they will do the right thing and act on this information, at the very least investigate it, but they're not.
Like, normally these pred hunters are kind of weird, but this dude doesn't seem that weird. I know you're being hyperbolic, but the best thing for kids to have is a minimal screen time so they aren't tech illiterate and they just heavily monitor internet access and what they can see. Oh no, for sure. Wild take from that chatter when the last prime minister was assassinated because of how invasive a cult that managed to acquire so much power that it was able to evade regulation from the government. Yeah, that's true. Shinzo Abe's assassination came from yet another CIA-backed cult that is incredibly influential in Korea and also in Japan.
Which is why there are groups that are doing it themselves. That's the issue. He has literally exhausted every possible avenue and I guess still hasn't found the proper channel, even though he even sent like physical evidence to their actual brick and mortar location and still got nothing. Like, it's very clear that there is no real proper channels, but they really don't like people trying to stop the predator problem themselves. But Roblox also doesn't want to do it either. So, I mean, what options are left? Just let that continue, let that fester, let Roblox be a platform where children are just completely unsafe? I don't think that's exactly a bright future. This is a platform.
I've heard of this nonsense out in China. That sounds crazy. The reason why I say that sounds crazy is because, like, the Chinese government is so too hands-on with actively monitoring things exactly like this with the hopes that this doesn't happen. So that is actually surprising. I mean, it's not surprising that there are cults in China as well. Obviously, Falun Gong is one of them. Again, also aligned with the CIA. I know, it's crazy. But why do so many of these cults all around the world always have some level of involvement with the American State Department? I don't know. But this is interesting because, like, it's that kind of cultish, ultra violent attitude that manifests in the heart of empire as well. Also, Slasher says, I went to a games advertising conference featuring Activision Vision Blizzard and Twitch, where Roblox got by far the most interest. In the 2 days of talks from ad execs, the average age of Roblox user was never mentioned once. Roblox has never cared about the safety of their core players, kids. An interesting anecdote with an extreme and irresponsible extrapolation. Irresponsible, such as Roblox's failure to act on dozens of reported sexual misconduct instances, leading to a YouTuber having to get a senator's attention to prompt a change in policy in the first place. Is that what you meant? Now, this is a more reasonable and responsible commentary on this man. Oh, God, these guys, man. I hate guys like this who are just, like, so pedantic. Very irresponsible in your reporting.
That does desperately need to be cleaned up. It is a huge problem there, and Roblox isn't doing it. Schlepp then tells a very personal experience he had on Roblox when he was a kid, and how he was also a victim of these type of evil people. And when his mother reached out to Roblox to report all of that and give the evidence about everything that had happened to her son, Roblox didn't act on it, and that individual still wasn't banned until years later. There is a problem, and Roblox isn't solving it, so the community is doing what they can to try and keep it safer. But Roblox is attacking the community that is actively trying to do that for them. I think it's bullshit. I think that is right there, And Roblox needs a real change in leadership in how they approach this shit. Maybe Dave Bazzucchi, instead of focusing on bringing dating to a children's game, should focus on trying to keep the children on that game safe. Maybe that should be the priority, I would think.